Hello, welcome back to the channel. This video is going to be about a lot of different things. Most notably, the bedroom it reaches the point of what I call good enough, to where it's livable, but absolutely not done. So you kind of abandon the project midway. This is mostly a terrible hole that I feel a lot of the projects that I do end up falling into. I hope that most things will be finished, but also it's very difficult to finish them in the state of the house right now. My boyfriend came to help with quite a lot of things, including the bed setup and crown molding. His help with the bed was definitely necessary because the actual bed frame is metal and incredibly heavy, to the point where it was just impossible for me to do on my own, even though I did think about it. I would not have been able to. It is important to note that I screwed it up before he came. The first board that I put on the ceiling I had cut totally wrong, and he had to fix my mistake afterwards. But since it is the least visible corner, I thought at least that far things will be totally fine, and you can't really tell either way. He was in charge of obviously most things. He cut the pieces, he stick them on the ceiling, he wiped them down afterwards, he was handling the saw. My jobs were more important, however. I handed him stuff and I also put on the glue. Moving the wardrobe was another mysterious task with which he helped. He was not the only one to help, and every cat, dog, or parent inside of the house wanted to participate in the project as well. Moving the wardrobe. I once again did the important stuff and had a mental breakdown once things stopped going the correct way. My wardrobe transition completely failed because I forgot which side I had turned to when I originally filmed the video. The kitchen has been started on, and there has been day one of it. Let me show. There is this entire top part. Obviously, a lot of places are still missing their doors, but it is looking like an actual kitchen. Today the builders are coming in and they're finishing this project, and I think that I will be ready for a move in after. Obviously the rest of the room is still a mess, but I think a lot of it might just be the tools of the people, and it's gonna get cleaned out. Look at it in all of its glory. There are things that are wrong with it. I hadn't thought about them. They are thankfully fixable. The electricity for the dishwasher is not put in place, so we're gonna have to somehow take out electricity for it and like deter from it, but nothing too horrible overall, just the sheer fact that it's ready. And let there be light. My couch is here. Putting together the couch was surprisingly easy. It has brackets on the side so you can put it together either with the right side being the long side or the left side being the long side. It basically you can turn it around however way you like. It does have a bed function and it has storage space underneath, which I was very happy about considering the space that I was working with was quite limited in the sense of there are no corner couches that are this size, this small, meaning. I say failed attempt at storage because I filled up the storage immediately after putting it together. Everything since has been just excess that has nowhere to go. This is proving to be much harder, much more tiring than I thought it would be. You can see what I mean by it's full. It got full immediately. The state of the house is also terrible in this footage, and that's not even all there is to come. The car is full all the way to the brim. That's the TV. Hauling stuff is my least favorite thing to do. It's comparable to pulling teeth. kitchen drain pipe required an engineering degree. I have never seen such a thing, and I hope to never see one again. My dad also came by to help. He did help me with a lot of plumbing things, a lot of things I can do by myself, but honestly, I get a bit scared without someone there to support me. So I am in my toilet saga part of the build, where for some reason everything is going wrong. First, one person came and he supposedly does this for a living. He placed the toilet so wrong that quite literally every part of it was wrong. The entrance to the water over there does not have a crane to stop the water if need be, which I feel it should. Then the toilet was slightly crooked, which, maybe I could have lived with. It was fine. I could have left it as something that is. But then he placed it so near the actual wall that the water, once you actually hit the water, would just go out the back of the toilet because the soft connection cannot make that turn. It's just an impossible turn. So thankfully no one had used the toilet at the time where we discovered this, because that would have been just wonderful. Also, the actual mechanism is not placed correctly, so it's constantly leaking water. Fine, mistakes happen. We call the second person who he just came. Actually, he was here. I had to basically tell him to leave because his idea of fixing it was, first of all, almost breaking my toilet, trying to scratch my tiles. And then he told me that the mechanism will work once the water softens up the rubber. I don't know whether that sounds correct to me, but maybe I'm not a builder. And then his idea of fixing the position of the toilet was just to cut off the silicone underneath. And then once I was like, okay, but you don't have a drill, maybe I should find you a drill. And he was like, no, we're just gonna silicone it. And I'm like, is only a piece of silicone gonna hold the toilet to the actual ground? And he was like, yeah, that's fine. And at that point I just told him to stop and to please just leave, because I don't know, I would like to not have the chances of falling when I'm on my toilet. It's all been too much, and I think ultimately what's going to happen is that I will have to do it. Either I or my boyfriend or my father, someone close to me is going to have to do it, because it seems like the people that I can find within the confines of a small town here it's just not getting done. So I cried a little bit, and it's been very frustrating. I hope that it gets better. I also feel my father might have just been excited to play with his tools. He doesn't get to do that often. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.